All right, let's talk about the full moon in Gemini in the nakshatra of Ardra. So, as you can see, the moon and Jupiter are here in Gemini, and then we have Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury all aspecting the moon and Jupiter in Sagittarius. And so, wherever the sun is at, that is the lesson cycle that we're in. And so, right now, we're in a Sagittarius lesson cycle. And Sagittarius is all about our hopes, our inspirations, our higher learning, our dharma and purpose. And it can also be our spirituality or our religion, and it can even be a little dogmatic. And so when we're kind of looking at the lesson cycle, we always, with the full moon, it shows us like the shadow or the tension between the two signs. And so the tension between Sagittarius and Gemini is that Sagittarius is all about our beliefs. And then Gemini is more about information, facts, ideas. And where this is where we're going to question our beliefs with facts. And the tension here also is that sometimes in Sagittarius, we can feel so inspired and we're like, we're like t telling people about all these things that we're learning and it's so great, but we're not actually doing the practice. It can also be like in a religious situation where someone's preaching about a religion, but they're not actually practicing what they're preaching. And so this is kind of the Sagittarius energy can sometimes be a little bit of like, I'm preaching, I'm going to tell you what to do, I know what's best. And that Gemini energy can be really rebellious and it can be like, no, you should think about it this way, or here's some facts to put up against your beliefs. And Gemini is also where we'll like do the thing to have the experience. So we don't really know something until we actually have the experience of it. So we can read something in a book and we can, have somebody tell us something or we can learn from a teacher, but until we actually put that thing into practice, we don't actually know. And so Gemini is where we actually do the thing. So if in Sagittarius you're running around and you're all inspired about your spiritual ideas and about meditating and doing all like writing down your morning pages every morning of all these ideas and it's so inspired. But if you're not actually doing them, if you're not actually sitting down and meditating every day, then you don't actually know. And if somebody does sit down and meditate every day, then they have the experience of meditating and they know exactly how it helps them. And then they can speak from that experience. And that's true knowing. And so that's really where the tension is right now. And Gemini or Jupiter and Mercury are exchanging signs because Mercury rules Gemini and Jupiter rules Sagittarius. And so we're getting this exchange between these two planets right now that's really focused on questioning these beliefs. And so not only are we feeling that tension from the moon and sun lesson cycle right now, but we also have Mercury and Jupiter showing us that our beliefs are going to be questioned. And we even can see it happening right now, where a bunch of information, new information, is coming forward, and people are having to question some of the things that they've believed for a very long time. And this can actually be really painful because if we've believed something for our whole lives, being like a religion, or maybe we got sucked into a cult for the last decade, then it can be really discouraging when the truth comes out and we feel duped. We can feel angry, we can feel depressed. It's very hurtful. And so this can actually be a really difficult time if we're questioning our beliefs and then we have a bunch of truth coming out. So just be aware that yes, I think it's a good thing when the truth comes out, although nothing's like really good or bad or like positive or negative, but when we want truth, right? Like we are trying to get to the truth. And so while I think that it's good that we're questioning our beliefs and the truth is coming forward, it's also painful. And so just be aware that while we are discovering new things that are coming to light that maybe we don't want to acknowledge or that we really wish weren't true, that it's okay to feel the feelings that come along with that and not suppress it, but to face the facts that this brings up maybe your feelings of anger or um, feeling like you were betrayed. Like staying with those feelings and facing those feelings is part of our shadow work right now. And when you actually do something and you have the actual experience of something, then you can actually speak from that place. And that's truly where we find that opposition with the moon is connecting to our actual experience of what's true. And with Ardra, the nakshatra of Ardra, it's represented by a teardrop. And this could be where you're just like burst out into tears, where all your emotions come out at once. And so it really is showing that this might be a time where we really need to release some of those emotions that we've been holding on to because we are now seeing the truth and it's coming up and out and allow that to happen. Ardra is also where we become independent. We decide to go our own path, like not the path our parents chose for us, but the path that we choose for ourselves. And so again, it's really bringing up this idea of questioning what you've been taught, questioning what you've been told your whole life, and then actually having the experience of it, and then deciding based on the actual knowing because you've had the experience versus what you've been told. And so that's the energy of the full moon. And always remember with a full moon, we want to go out and we want to celebrate. And this is the time to be around people and to make connections. And if you're a woman, it's especially a good time to be around other women because we heal each other. Women are our energy when we come together, it actually is very healing because we start to align with each other. And whichever woman is the most aligned with the moon is the one that is influencing the other women to align with the moon. And so being around other women during a full moon is a really good way to sync up our cycles with the moon. And then I would recommend because we have Mercury here in Sagittarius. And when Mercury is in Sagittarius, we can sometimes confuse our beliefs and our ideas as facts. And we need to remember that our beliefs and our opinions are that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they are facts. And we are totally welcome to talk about our beliefs and ideas. But when Mercury is here in Gemini, when we're talking about those things, they can come across as if we're trying to speak of them as facts. And so just be careful. And this is a really good time instead of doing a lot of talking and pushing your opinions and beliefs onto other people. This is a great time to do a lot of listening. And it's through that listening that you'll get deeper to the truth. And so I hope this video was helpful. I would love to hear how this full moon is affecting you and ways that you celebrate the full moon. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video.